Let's get started with the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Today is Monday, November 4th, 2019. Time 5 p.m. Meeting of the Greensburg Board of Works is called to order. At this time, silence your phones or electronic devices. To comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the city requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary anonymous survey that is available at the table on the back door. Okay, roll call, please.
Carol Burkhart. Here. Rick Muller.
Here.
Lynn Tubby. Here. Darren Poland. Here.
Okay. You should have all received a copy of the minutes for October 7th, 2019. Is there any corrections to the minutes? Not hearing none. A motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Sharon? Oop, no, wrong name. Yes, the award for the community crossing grant that we received a couple days after.
Good evening. On September the 3rd, you all received bids for 4 community crossing projects, of which one was not bid at that time, project number 3. And that project was rebid on October the 7th, and a bid was received. As the mayor indicated, notice was received October the 24th of this year that the city was awarded the 4 applied for projects in the total amount of $504,601.86. And in fact, the low bids combined were slightly less than that amount. So our bids were under the awarded amount. This is a 50-50 matching program. The city will pay $500,000 plus or minus, and the state will match that up to the $504,000. Of the projects, the low bid for project number 1, which is predominantly a resurfacing project, was from Globe Asphalt Paving Company in the amount of $359,524.50. The low bid for project 2, which is also a resurfacing project, the low bid was from Globe Asphalt Paving in the amount of $336,777.40. And I'm going to skip over to project number 4, which is also a resurfacing project, was also from Globe Asphalt in the amount of $159,653.20. And then the rebid of project number 3, which is something referred to as a microsurface, and that is similar to something known as a slurry seal, where it's a seal coat put down with fine aggregate in that seal coat. It is a preventative maintenance, a pavement life extension application. That low bid was from Pavement Solutions Incorporated of Middletown, Indiana, in the amount of $93,318.80. So I am before you this evening requesting award of those 4 projects.
We still did not receive, no one else wanted to bid
there was only the one bid.
Just one, okay.
That is correct.
I didn't know if we checked with the other people.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Oh, second.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So passed. So you'll be notified of that. You will. Sure, maybe. Okay, so let's take care of old business. Now we're going on to new business. Karen, AORA.
I am here with the pay application from Shooty Excavating. This is not the final pay application, there will be one more, because the inserts are not into the limestone benches yet, and there's a few pavers that are down. So that money is being held back, obviously, until that work is complete. And so this is pay application for $92,971.34. And all of this will be paid out of grant funding from the CDBG grant.
Any questions? Have motion to go ahead and pay this. Number 7.
Make a motion to pay payout number 7 for East Main Street Project, South Side Square.
Second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Thank you. Okay. Ryan Robbins, talking about the income survey.
Yes. For those who don't know, the income survey is important to the community because it also helps us to qualify for grants such as over grants, HUD grants, and the like. Currently, the HUD takes the census data for our location and currently has us at 45% of low to moderate income. When our previously, the percentage was about 54.5 citywide back in 2013. Whereas we're happy that our income has improved. We feel that that might be inaccurate. So we have made the argument to the state to allow us to conduct our own income survey, which should, we think, be a little bit more accurate than what the overall census data is, because since that census data has been taken, main sources merged with First Financial and some other things in the community. So does everybody have a copy of that Key Research Incorporated, working with ARA and Key Research to conduct an income survey for our community, which we hope will provide a better idea of what the city's income is, or average income, I should say. And there, with the contract, you see is the cost is $16.75, again, it'll be conducted by Key Research and Analysis Incorporated.
So if the census coming up in 2020, this is prior to that, will the new census supersede this?
Well, that'd be a good question, Will.
Yes, it would.
When will those results be in? A year, 2 years from the actual 2020?
I don't actually know that answer, but
In
one
this
thing that I
thing-
can tell you, one thing that I can tell you is the
Let's just come to the mic.
This is Sarah Frederick from from ARA.
apologize. One thing that I can tell you, the reason for an income survey is, I mean, as you all know, I'm certainly not pushing for it because I'm not Key Research, so I'm from ARA, my name is Sarah Steinrock, and I would be helping write grant projects that would be helped by an income survey if it actually puts the city of Greensburg in a different percentage of low to moderate income persons. So I'm getting there, just give me one more second. So the benefit of actually doing an income survey is that we use the city's addresses, the utility addresses, and we actually get to rental properties. We get a better census, basically, of everyone. Whereas when the U.S. Census data goes out, it often doesn't go to rental properties and those types of, they don't have all the addresses, and people are lazy and slow to reply, and or they don't. So the benefit of a community-wide income survey, privately done, is that you guys can use your website, you can use your utility bills, etc., and you can let your residents know that you are the one conducting the income survey, which gives people a little bit more confidence in replying, that it's not just a random who knows who's surveying, but that you are intending to do it. Yes.
So we need this in a shorter period of time in order to improve our grant chances, we think to improve our grant chances. And it'll probably improve our grant chances for a couple of years yet until new census stuff comes
Right.
out.
So,
Okay.
and we don't know what that new census data will be like.
Right.
So HUD has kind of changed their, HUD and therefore the influence on the Office of Community and Rural Affairs and CDBG grant funding. It used to be that you could use census data or you could get an income survey, but now HUD has said everybody uses their ACS data. But what we're finding is there's a pretty big margin of error between what you get from an income survey and what you get from ACS survey data. Is that making sense?
Yes, no, this is the follow-up question. There is no, in terms of those people who are going to be looking at the grant information that we supply, this is acceptable over the other. They will agree with this, or they'll look at the discrepancy and make some determination between the two.
In order to even apply for some grant funding, there's
need to-
two ways that you do. You are either 51% or greater low to moderate income, or you are removing slight or slum or blight, sorry, put those words together, slum or blight. So currently, the city of Greensburg, using its ACS data, is not eligible to apply for a lot of grant funding because you don't qualify. So the only way to do that is that we went to Okra and we said, we believe that that census data may not be accurate because just back in 2013, we had an income survey done and it came up with something close to 55% low to moderate income, 4% above what we needed. So it being 45 currently, with a lot of industry leaving and a few things like that that have happened, and rental properties that are growing, et cetera, it is the belief that a particular income survey might produce that number that you need.
I got you. Whether it does or doesn't, if it does, great. If it doesn't, well, we know better. But it seems to be worth the investment of $1,600 to find out, and if it increases our chances for grants, then it's money well invested. So I wasn't trying to,
Oh, no.
I was just
no.
trying to clarify,
Right,
and
right.
I'm not opposed to it. I support it.
Yeah, I think it's kind of confusing, and actually the way that they've changed it, that you have to use ACS data or else you have to apply to be able to do an income survey, makes it kind of confusing, because I certainly understand your question is, if, we're just getting ready to be surveyed again, what would be the point? But it does seem that an income survey is a little bit more accurate to the actual community if you hire a surveyor.
Okay.
I have a question. How, if we decide to go ahead and with this, how soon, I know you're gonna have to get all the addresses, we're gonna have to advertise, how soon before the first ones would be mailed, the 470, how soon till those surveys are mailed?
Turnaround time for the income survey, I know you guys have already contacted us for maps. and going as well.
No, I'm sorry. I think I should stand up back.
Yeah, mine.
Brian, I'm sorry.
No, no,
I'm not trying to.
I just wondered what the time was.
Sure. We did talk to Rick Morton at Key Research, and he told us it takes about 90 days. But we would probably want to consider the fact that the holidays are coming up and make a decision about whether we thought we were going to get a great response during that time, people traveling, et cetera. And part of the cost of the income survey is sending out the mail, right? So we don't want to mail, or that makes the cost go up. So it might be the kind of thing that we would determine a particular time. Maybe would we start in January, or would we try to turn around and do it pretty quickly? We could certainly get those addresses quickly. It's a matter of the advertising. It feels like lots of things are going to be advertising during this time of the year. So I wonder, part of me wonders if January might be a good time to do it. But on the other hand, that's not my decision to make. I would.
I think once we move forward in the year, we can probably talk to Rick and see how that.
See what he thinks.
And then create some sort of timeline as far as marketing, as it gets the word out, see if he feels that is sufficient.
Well, with us having to, to put the inserts in the utility bills, get it in the newspaper, and do all that, put those ads,
Right.
that's gonna take time. So,
Yeah,
looks like it's
I
probably
think-
gonna be close to after January.
Well, it may, but I think once they get more
It's-
information,
it's hard,
the
yeah.
judgment, I think, will be good.
Okay, yeah, I think, okay, that's good.
So maybe if we determined that we did in fact want to do the survey, and you guys were good with that, then we would kind of go back to him, maybe some expert advice on what would be the best timing.
Okay.
Makes sense?
motion to go ahead and approve the income survey.
I would move that we would do the community development grant income survey according to the agreement as proposed.
Second.
Other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Hello again. A few minutes ago, I spoke with you about our community crossing matching grant projects and the fact that the state of Indiana has awarded $504,601.86. I have with me this evening an agreement between the Indiana Department of Transportation and the city of Greensburg for providing those funds. So I'm asking your approval of the document. The document is set up for one signature, so if you decide to approve this, then we would ask that you designate the mayor as the signatory on the agreement. I believe Chris has looked at the agreement and he gives us a thumbs up, so.
The agreement hasn't really changed in previous ones.
It's not.
Okay,
Good.
questions? Good? It's
Questions?
pro forma, isn't it?
It's $500,000.
It's $500,000. I think we have to say yes.
Need that motion.
I'll make the motion that we approve the sign.
And designate the mayor to sign.
Designate the mayor to sign. Yes.
Second.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Must be weak.
Jeff Smith.
I'd like permission to dispose of a 2002 Dodge Ram 1500. It was used by the meter reader. It's ready for its third transmission and running, so it's just time for it to go. We're going to donate it to the fire department again, and then after they get done, we'll take it to the scrap yard. That's okay.
What year is it?
2002.
Yeah, I think you can get 18 years out of December.
It's been here almost as long as I have.
Move, push it.
We're gonna have to pull it down there, so it's done, so, yeah.
Okay, so need a motion to dispose of Dodge truck.
I make a motion to dispose of the 2002 Dodge Ram pickup 1500, and it's going to be donated to the fire department.
Second.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Good.
Thank you. I think the paperwork's in the packet.
Okay, Chief Bridges.
Good evening. First thing that I have on the agenda, normally I'd wait until next month to bring this, but we had a 2011 Ford Crown Vic that was found to have a hole in the floorboard close to the gas tank, so any type of friction or issues that might furthermost go with that vehicle could possibly cause a fire. So we decided to take it off the fleet, and I am asking for permission to purchase a vehicle for 2020. The reason I'm coming to you now is I'm not going to need any additional appropriation or anything like that. I'm just needing permission to buy because the Fords are currently backward a little bit. So we're wanting to go ahead and get our names on the list to get a vehicle in. So furnished you with the bids that we had received so far, and on the Bloomington Ford, that will also be an all-wheel drive vehicle. So
You're saying that will come out of the 2020 budget?
yes, that will come out of the 2020 yes, budget. And like, I do have a Dodge Durango all-wheel drive, and like I said, it is the cheapest out of the three. But again, I did note in here, but we have spoken to other departments. I just spoke to Avon PD, and one of the things they're not really liking is the back end and high-speed situation. They don't feel comfortable, so we're not getting very good reviews still on the Dodge Durango. Again, we have the Fords that we're not having issues with, so my recommendation would be to stick with a Ford Explorer.
What's the difference?
Yes.
What are your feelings? If we
Uh,
buy it local,
You know, I can tell you, for ordering wise, Bloomington might get it here quicker, but as far as everything else, I mean, Don Meyer's probably be very comfortable on getting it here, so I have no problem with considering, or staying local in that. Like I said, we have a good working relationship with Don Meyer, so,
Close for service.
yeah.
I would go with the local. I would put that for a motion that we authorize the chief to order the replacement vehicle, the Ford Explorer from Don Meyer Ford.
I
And I.
do have a question though. What are you gonna do with that Crown Vic?
More than likely it will go to the junkyard.
Junkyard?
Yeah, just with that, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be worth fixing or anything like that. Yeah, and the liability part, because like I said,
That's why
we would
I
have to
was-
be the ones that fix it, I'm sure, before we got rid of it, and I just don't want that.
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now, last time we did bids, or looked at doing trade-in values on the Ford Crown Vics, we were getting about $1,500, and that was 2 years ago. So I'm guessing it's gonna be little or nothing anyway, so I think we're gonna hurt there, so.
Okay.
Do you want me to table the next? Or, okay. So I'll move on to the third. You do not have this in your packet. This kind of came up at the last minute. A couple weeks ago, you know that there was a female that decided to jump out of a moving vehicle and a transport vehicle. And she got loose, and part of the reason was for that is the agency that was transporting her did not have a cage. We actually have a cage that we no longer need that will fit their transport vehicle, and they were asking if we would be interested in selling that to them. And my thoughts are, with us not needing it or anything like that, and if we can help out another law enforcement agency, that we would just do a transfer and would not charge them for anything. I can tell you that the community or Jefferson County, and that we have worked with them before, and we have a good working relationship with their sheriff's department and their police department, and I would ask that we can transfer that equipment to them.
What is the approximate value?
Brand new is probably about $1,500, but it's 5 years old.
Okay.
So, and I can tell you, we had to scrap those before just because we can't get them in our vehicles, and we're getting very, very little at the scrapyard. So,
And we don't need it because it won't fit?
no.
I would authorize transfer of the equipment to
It'd be going to Jefferson County Sheriff's Department.
Jefferson County Sheriff. As a gesture.
Any other questions? All matters, say aye.
Aye.
Those. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Should we have a motion here to table the interview?
Yeah, we can do that.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Burkhart.
Not over an hour and a half.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here tonight to give you kind of an update on the new water plant project that we got that's currently under construction. I give a monthly update to the water board, but I thought it'd be nice to come in and give you guys an update as well. We'll probably do that maybe like on a quarterly basis or so to speak. So, those that have been to the water board, some of this is going to be a little bit repeat, but I'll go through a little bit of the highlights, and I got several pictures of construction to look at to use here. Give you a brief description, kind of remind you of the project. It's a new 5.5 MGD surface water treatment plant. Some of the things that include, there's 2 solid contact clarifiers with big circular tanks. There's a filter building which has 8 new gravity filters. We got new chemical feed systems. We also have almost a 1 million gallon finished water storage tank, a pump and electric building. We got an office, lab, locker room spaces that go with the treatment plant building. We also had a field operation building that's for the field staff, as long as it's got a lot of vehicle storage as well as some office space in there and some storage as well in there. And then last but least, we will demolition the current plants 1 and 2 at the site. A little bit about the schedule. Notice proceed was issued back in June of this year. The contractor was on site roughly a month later. We did have a groundbreaking on the 31st. I know some of you were there as well. Kind of give you an idea where we're going. You know, partial substantial completion is in May of 2021. So kind of give you an idea. It's been roughly 125 days since notice proceed, and the partial substantial completion is 700 days. So we still got about, do my math real fast, 575 days left as of Friday to get partial completion. Final substantial completion is Christmas Eve of 2021, with final following roughly a month later in January, so 2022. So overall it's a little over a 30-month project, and we are about 4 months into it. So kind of gives you an idea where we're at in the time frame. Here's a picture of the groundbreaking back in July. Went pretty well. Actually, I was very pleased with how well it was attended. I think there was roughly 45 to 50 people there, so that's pretty good for a groundbreaking. There's a couple other shots. There's the mayor giving his little talk and some of the people there as well. Contractor is F.A. Wilhelm. They're out of Annapolis, Indiana. The project cost, construction cost is a little over 19 million, almost 20 million. To date, based upon a pay request that probably will be approved later this week. We're roughly 14% is where we're at from a money standpoint. So kind of here's a kind of a computer model of what the plant site will look like. Okay, this does work. And a lot of the focus so far has been on this tank over here, which is a clear well. This building here, which is the pump and electrical building. And then a portion of this, which is the new plant, new water plant with the filters on this end. This end over here has the chemical feed, and kind of in the middle is the office areas. The clarifiers we talked about are these circular tanks up here. That work has not gotten started yet. And then the field ops building is here, and that's location currently treatment plant number 1, or the large treatment plant out there. And then background here, you can see is plant number 3 that was constructed back in 2008. We'll do a few improvements to that. For the most part, that stays as is. So that's kind of what it's going to look like in the future when it's done. Little model there. And then we'll get to the fun type of some of the pictures here. Here they are drilling for the earth retention. This is in the southeast corner of the site. That is basically that they're driving those pilings, and they'll build a cribbing there so that they can keep the earth back, so they have the area safe for excavation. There's some more of the pilings being installed. They encircle basically along the south border and then along the east, and you can see we're fairly close to the one residence there. They're setting some of the lagging between the piles, getting ready to keep excavating. And there's a little more of the site excavate. This is back probably, I would say, in August time frame, where about when that picture was taken. And then there's about the bottom of the clear well tank, excavation wise, and you got it. There's a little better perspective to see how deep we're. Roughly about 20, right at 20 feet deep, I think there, give or take a foot, somewhere in that range from the existing surface. And here we're drilling micro piles in order to, because it is such a large tank, and then in order to have so that the treatment plant could take it down for maintenance, we had to design it so that the tank would function if it was empty. And actually it's harder when it's empty than when it's full, because there's an uplift. So we end up having to put in a bunch of micro piles, and that's basically what they're doing now to help anchor the slab foundations for uplift. And they're drilling some more there. They did a series of those. I believe there was roughly 80 or 90 piles driven total. And you can start to see they're putting stone here, but every one of these little things is a micro pile. You can see how grid formed from that. And now we moved on, and now they're putting the reinforcing steel and for the slab foundation. There's just some more. That's a little bit more of the micro piling, a little bit how it's constructed. And now we're starting to pour the concrete slab. That was roughly the 1st of October is when that first week of October. That was the biggest pour they've done to site. I think it will be the biggest total. That was a little over 320 cubic yards of concrete was poured that day. So that's a pretty big pour. And there is the finished slab. Looks like an ice skating rink right at that point. And then here we saw some of the interior, the rebar here, or the cage things here are pillars to support, that are being installed to support the roof. And then of course you can see the form work for the walls. Those walls are roughly, they're set a little over 17 feet tall. They were done in one pour with 3 different stages. And there's another shot, some of the rebar and reinforcing as part of the tank wall. There's a little different. This one, it's got post tensioning. It's designed to give a better concrete tank, all all concrete tanks crack. This is helping to prevent that or minimize and mitigate the cracking. So it gets a lot of post-tensioning. Those are steel cables that they will pull after the concrete's poured. And that's a shot of the first pour. There will be a total of 7 pours to get this tank complete. And I believe the next wall pour is scheduled for tomorrow. So that's a pretty up-to-date photo. That was probably taken last Thursday or Friday. Now we'll skip to the next area is the pump electrical building. This is earlier on, obviously. You can see that they don't have some of the stuff in there. This is for the pump station wet well. This is probably the deepest that we went as far as depth we went. And there's another, kind of give you an idea. It's next to the tank. You see the tank would be the clear wells here, and then this is the structure here, the wet well here. We're pouring. They're working on the rebar for the slab there. There's the slab that's been poured. And now we're working on the walls. Yeah. I think those are, kind of see, that's probably about 15 feet, 15 plus feet there. And they poured a couple sections of those, and they're still working, they were working on it at that point. This point in time, all those walls that you saw was this structure right here. So they've done a lot of backfilling, so they brought it, they're bringing the grade up. Basically, out of this side is pretty tight, so what we have to do is basically start at the bottom and just put everything in as we come up, as we bring all the grade back up. So this is some of the foundation for the actual building associated with the wet well. And obviously, we have a lot of power needs for a treatment plant. This is just some of the one electrical duct bank coming out of that building. There's another shot of the foundation walls being done. This is the start of, this is a sump pit for the water treatment plant building. It's kind of, the foundation or the basement slab is kind of a T. You got the long end here, then the crossbar up here. That's kind of the shape of that building. And there you can see they're putting in some of the drain lines underneath the slab at this point. This is probably about a month and a half ago. There they got the stone in, ready for the base slab. There's the rebar. You can see the pumper truck in the background, getting ready to, they poured that day. And they're pouring the concrete slab for that structure. Here they're setting a wall sleeve where pipe penetrates the wall into that. And then here's partial of the walls for that building, or that pipe gallery. I believe there are 5 pours for all the walls. I think they've got 4 of them done. They still have 1 more pour, and I believe it's either tomorrow or Friday. They should have all the walls completely poured for that lower level by the end of this week. Here's some lines being installed. Again, as we're working our way up, kind of give you an idea. That's the pump and electrical, the clear well over there, or the wet well. Clear well's over here, and then this is the new water treatment plant foundation there. So again, they had it working kind of areas. They're bringing everything up. So, and as you can see, this pipe is not a straight run. We have to snake it around to. There's a lot. This is a tight site, so there's a lot of stuff we're having to work, get around, so we make sure we get everything in. And there's another shot. That's a backwash supply line. It's the same line, just a farther up. It will eventually come in and tie it into this opening right over here in this wall. That's it. Gives you an idea of where we are. They are roughly, like I said, a little over 60 days actually on work days on site. They've been contracts, most of it's been 4 months. They've actually been on site roughly 3 months, but of working days, we have an inspector there. He writes a report every day that they're on site, and as of Friday, we're on report number 63. So it kind of gives you an idea roughly they've been on site that long. So they're taking advantage of the nice weather this year, or so far. So they are obeying. If you haven't been out there, it's quite a change in a pretty short period of time. So hopefully they stay on this schedule, but we are starting to approach the time of year when it's not advantageous for construction outside. But their goal, I think, is to get a lot of these structures up and out of the ground so that they can work through the winter. So, any questions? You guys are easy.
Impressive.
Thank you.
Okay.
I apologize for everybody's best up through the city council will be the same presentation.
Steve, you got something?
Yeah. I'd like to close the board works. Sorry for not being on the schedule. I just wanted to give you some information. We did not receive the grant on the SCBA. So I don't feel it's right for me to ask you to make a decision tonight on this, so I'll be at the next meeting. I do have some information I'd like to give you, and you can look at before the next meeting. I'd like to, in December, I have permission to purchase possibly this item. There was 2 companies we had in that we went over the air packs for the last 2 weeks. MSA's one of the companies that we decided would be best for us. This is a 15-year item that we will be using for 15 years. I know the cost is pretty expensive. It's around $275,000. I have money in a Honda fund that I can use, and also I have accumulated part fund that there's monies for this. But I just wanted to bring this up for information. Yes. This is really something that we need to do something with. We have already been through the cycles of this, and as Rick knows, being on the fire department, one injury could cost us a lot more money than this. So this is really an item that we use all the time whenever we have a structured fire, or about it every day. If we have that call, so it's something that we really need to address. And another company that we have went with, the difference is that this pack here, just to explain a little bit if you have time, is that there's a camera built in on these packs. And I was going to buy it down here at the bottom. It says MSA Safety 8. That's 8 packs with an infrared camera. So when you go into the structure, you can use it. The other packs that we have looked at was Scott Air Packs. It's in the mask. Well, that means I have to buy 39 masks with cameras in it. That's a lot more expense. And we decided that this would be the best way to fit us here at Greensburg Fire Department. So I just wanted to bring that in. Like I said, in December, I'll ask permission to for the funding, and we'll go with there.
Now, the original quote's got 31 bottles.
Yeah, well,
And then you've got 39 more bottles plus 8, so.
yeah, it's a total of 39 packs.
And bottles.
8, yeah, and bottles. 8 of them is that.
Okay. And then
Next year I lose about 30-some bottles, 40 bottles. Those bottles are about $850 a piece that won't be able to be used anymore. They lost their life expectancy, so.
So we are getting spare bottles.
Yeah, well, I'm getting one mask and 1 spare bottle for every pack we get. And then, as you can see on the second page, these are there's 3 RIP bags. One is it's a rescue bag. I have to have masks for it and bottles for it. So that's where the cost of $14,000 is. Those are what we do. If we have a Mayday situation, we have to go in to rescue somebody, we grab that pack, we go in, we do what we can do. So that's just, anytime you go with life safety, everything ties. So I just wanted to touch base with you.
Thank you.
Any specific reason given why we were turned down on the grant?
No, we have applied for the grant 3 times. They always wait to the end, and I don't know why, but we just keep trying.
That's all you can do.
But now we're at the point where we gotta do something. After 15 years. Thank you for your time.
You said you had a committee look at these?
Yes, I had a committee, and we had everybody go through it, and the findings was MSA was the best to suit us. So
How many do you have, like,
I had 3 guys on the committee. I used 3 privates because the privates is who wear the packs all the time. So I put the guys who's in the trenches, made them wear the packs and go through it, and they're in charge of it, and then everybody wore the packs on the fire department, and they all come up with a decision on this. So it's pretty well like, the last I heard is like 25 to 6 on the decision. Some liked the way this was, some liked the way that was. If we could combine them, everybody'd be happy, but it's not like that. So,
Just you're hitting the bottom.
thank you.
okay. Veterans Day is November 11th, 5 p.m. Be down on the square again like usual on the monument. The march will walk down to that area. There's something on the inside the square. So it's kind of to give you a heads up on that. Also, what I've done is in there that I gave you the highlights of the last 4 years when I've been here with you, just to let you know these are things that you guys helped develop. And this was an awesome 4 years, so